Sup?
Not much.
Just wondering if I should wait for the girls to come back from the bathroom.
Nah.
It might be one path. The eternal question.
Right. Thanks very much, Dimes, and everybody who helped put this on tonight. I really appreciate it. It's good to do events like this. This guy gets it. Actions, not words. I realize this is a rather strange thing to say before I give a speech, but if I would speak of action. The threats our nation faces have been spoken about endlessly around and around in circles since before I was born. I refuse to allow another generation to enter manhood watching their fathers talk about how much worse things will be for their sons. My name is Alexander William Vriend. I am better known in these circles as the Ferryman's Toll or the Ferryman, but usually people just call me Ferry now, which is a hard lesson learned in choosing online aliases. But at least I'm not called Cat Girl. Just playing. I could tell you a long-winded story about who I am and how I got here, but it's really not that important, and the truth is that it's probably pretty similar to how a lot of you came to find yourselves here tonight. All that you truly need to know is that I was asked to speak tonight because I'm the vice president of an organization called Second Sons.
Yeah.
Obviously, many of you are quite familiar with the Second Sons. But for those of you who are not, we are a fraternal order. Our guiding principle is that of nationalism. And we seek to organize nationalist men through physical fitness inspired by the active club model. But why the name Second Sons and why a fraternal order? What do we mean by nationalism? What are active clubs? These are all questions I receive routinely. And tonight I'm gonna bore you with them. The answers, I guess. We call ourselves the Second Sons in reference to the old European system of primogeniture in which the firstborn son inherits the family estate and wealth and is tasked with keeping it intact. It's the duty of the firstborn son to manage and protect what the family had and pass it on to his firstborn son. The secondborn son was required to make his own way in this world, to carve out his own piece of it. As a nation, our inheritance has already been squandered, sold off, and gifted to any foreigner with a government-issued invasion permit. What little remains of our birthright will not simply be handed to us, and if Canadians wish to hold on to a place for themselves in this world, to remain a distinct people, they are going to have to fight for it. They must accept that they have become Second Sons, and that is the role that we embrace. Second Sons is a fraternal order. I am frequently asked why our organization does not accept women or why we do not have a women's league or support structure of one form or other. It is not because we believe women are incapable of or of little use in nationalist efforts. In my experience, some of the most capable nationalist organizers and voices I have had the privilege of knowing and working with have been women. Many of them are in this room tonight. But it is precisely because...
Yeah.
Stop simping. It is precisely because I have listened to these women, though, that I know, well, it's the reason why we were formed as a fraternal order. If you actually listen to the good women of this nation, they will tell you that the thing they are most desperate for is for men to do their goddamn duty.
Yeah.
For far too long, disharmony has been growing between our men and women, and I am of the opinion that the responsibility of restoring harmony between men and women falls primarily on the shoulders of our men. Women do not tend to question men who demonstrate they are competent, ordered, disciplined, and capable leaders. They gravitate towards them, they adapt to them, they follow them. If our men become organized, our women will naturally follow, and so that is what we seek to do in the formation of a fraternal order. The primary purpose of Second Sons, though, is to rally Canadians under the banner of nationalism. Many see this as vague or ill-defined, and I am commonly asked what it actually means. Those who ask typically seem to expect some form of explanation pertaining to systems of governance or economics. They expect a point-by-point plan detailing everything a nationalist is for and against, because they see nationalism as just another political ideology, no different than conservative or liberal, libertarian or socialist. Of course, it's possible to answer that question in those terms, but it doesn't really capture the essence of what nationalism truly is. At its core, nationalism is simply love. It's a love of your people, it's a love of your history, a love of your culture, a love of your blood and your soil. This is what separates nationalism from other political ideologies. It is not simply a system of beliefs rooted in rationalism that one claims to adhere to. It is an emotion governed by natural law that cannot be claimed with words. A man can profess his undying love to a woman 1,000 times, but the truth of his love is proven only through his actions. The same is true of nationalism. It is not something to be said, it's something to be done.
Fuck yeah.
It is the meaning of true patriot love, in all thy sons command. And that is the banner that we rally men to. There is a phrase I often hear amongst patriotic people that I have come to particularly loathe. I'm sure all of you have heard some version of it. It goes something like, I would give my life for my people. Many of you have probably said it. I certainly have. It's an easy thing to say when discussing hypothetical scenarios that are unlikely to ever happen. What if instead of saying, I would give my life for my people, we said, I would live my life for my people? It's amazing the difference that one little letter can make, isn't it? The fight we're in has little need of theoretical martyrs who would make the ultimate sacrifice, but we are in desperate need of dedicated men willing to make small, consistent sacrifices that will earn them little glory. We need to reject the culture of comfort, convenience, and individualism and choose the culture of struggle, hardship, and brotherhood. And this is the philosophy of the Active Club.
Fuck yeah.
Active Club may sound generic, but it is not meant to be ambiguous. It simply encapsulates what the European world desperately needs. We need men who are active in their communities. We need men who are active in politics. We need men who are active in athletics, arts, music. We need men who will take action to forge a new culture, a culture rooted in ancient ideals, crafted for the battles of the present, a culture with a vision of the future that ignites the flames of the indomitable spirit of our people once more. Culture, not politics, is what the Active Club model seeks to address. The late Andrew Breitbart said that politics was downstream from culture, a line I'm sure you are all familiar with. I do not believe the importance of this statement is properly considered among Canadian nationalists. Without a nationalist cultural movement, the nationalist political movement you all yearn for will never come. The concept of the Active Club was the vision of Rob Rondeau, an American nationalist who became disillusioned with both establishment politics and the fringe antisocial nationalist groups who are often more concerned with debating endlessly amongst themselves than they are in doing anything productive. The alternative Rondeau put forth was elegantly simple. Gather like-minded men who are tired of fucking talking about politics and reorient them towards the creation of a positive culture through sport, music, art, and literature. The concept is often summarized in 3 simple words: tribe and train. I will not attempt to explain the entire process by which this concept evolved, expanded, and began to flourish across the European world, but it did. And many of the most prolific and successful nationalist organizations in existence today were developed either partially or entirely from this vision, and that includes us, the Second Sons. The primary method an Active Club is organized through is physical activity. It does not particularly matter what this is. It could be anything from lifting weights, hiking, team sports, even simply chopping wood together. But the most effective form is combat sports, because this is what builds respect and camaraderie most of all between men. I'm often asked why we place so much emphasis on physical training, or why we see this as the best method for building a strong nationalist culture. I simply respond by asking in return what a better method of organizing men would be, and I have yet to hear a compelling alternative. The most commonly proposed alternative I have heard is something resembling what we are doing this evening. Events such as this are necessary, and they are certainly beneficial to those who attend them, but they're limited. We cannot organize events such as this frequently, and even if we could, the demand for them would eventually wane and the benefits would diminish. Physical activity, however, is something that is inherently repetitive, in which the benefits increase through frequency. Instead of contriving circumstances for nationalists to gather, we simply weave nationalism into our daily routines. In this manner, exercise, a simple, mundane task that most men engage in, becomes a ritual in nationalism. Furthermore, there are a myriad number of practical benefits to emphasizing fitness as a mechanism for organizing nationalists that I have yet to see produced from an alternative. Firstly, I believe the only optic that truly matters in politics is beauty. One could alternatively use the words health or strength or virility, fertility, whichever you prefer. But they all speak to the same basic notion that beauty is a better salesman of ideas than intellect. I hope that doesn't offend some of the intellectuals in the room. It's true. There is a reason why the entire world mocked Nike for using a 300-pound black woman to try and sell people athletic apparel. There is a reason why Bud Light was made a laughingstock when they tried to sell beer with a tranny on a can. The simple reality is that attractive, healthy, strong people are more often listened to than ugly, sick, weak people. Ignoring this aspect of human nature does not make us virtuous. It does not make us intelligent. It makes us fools. We emphasize health and physical fitness not only because it is inherently good for our members, but because our members are the physical embodiment of our collective beliefs that we claim to hold. Beauty is not, however, simply an optic to be used. It is the visual indication of vitality, fertility, and virility. It is health. A bloated, corrupt, and dysgenic culture has resulted in far too many of our people becoming fat, sick, and weak. As I stated earlier, I believe that nationalism is love. How can one claim to love their nation, to care about the health of it, when they do not love themselves enough to care about their own health?
Yeah.
Fitness is not optional for a nationalist. It is a duty. It is an action that demonstrates the sincerity of your love for your nation, because you are the nation. We all must take actions in our own lives for the nation. Individual actions performed in a vacuum, however, from the collective, will not solve the primary issue we face as nationalists, which is organizing. We must organize. The primary benefit of collective training is not exercise in the physical sense, but that it is an exercise in organizing. If you can organize men to practice boxing in a park, you can organize men for political activism, charitable work, disaster relief, whatever you want. If you can organize men to do push-ups, you can organize men to attend a conference. Where are the Second Sons? Yeah, call it out. They're all over here tonight. Those men did not come here tonight as individuals. They came as Second Sons. We are not atomized individuals who simply have shared beliefs and found ourselves in the same room this evening. We are brothers and we work as one, because that is how we are going to win. Only when enough men act in one movement, breathe to the beat of one heart, and speak together with one voice will victory be possible. And it is my honor to be the voice of those men tonight.
Holy fuck.
I'm often asked why I chose this path, or why I want to do the work that I do. And the truth is that I didn't choose it, and I don't really want to do it. It's true. I'm compelled to do it. Love is not a choice. It's not a want. It is an emotion that commands actions in defiance of logic and reason. There is a reason why "All Thy Sons" is embroidered over the heart of our uniform. It is to remind us that true patriot love commands us to act, because our love is measured in actions, not fucking words. Thank you.
Is that it?
I said all the words I want to say.
That's funny.